nobody could have imagined law school being the way it is today. But the touch of dissatisfaction there as well to say that can we imagine it for the next 30 years. So clearly, nobody wants to play with the 30-year-old model anymore. And I think the idea of discussing it here is, can we come up with ideas for reimagining what legal education will be in the next 30 years. If it means making more copies of this, frankly, we are a group of people lacking imagination. So that's the context to how we're going to try and do this. I'll start with Sarsu. Sarsu, because you're a practical person who knows this place better than most of us. You've been here longer than most of us. You're only trumped by Zabi, right? At the moment. Correct. Padma. So you're the third senior-most person on campus. When we came to law school, we had a sense of what the objective of law school was. We had a sense. It was clearly not what it is today. So what is it that law school has that makes it successful? It's been commercialized into 23 other places. They all trying to be replicas of this. So the old ambassador seems to be doing well. What is the secret? You can talk about ambassador later.
I wish I could answer that question, frankly speaking. But I think, you said that, law school's been here for a long time. What we must also realize is that it's not continue to be the same law school. When you may see the same pictures and the hostel food may taste pretty much the same. But, we have evolved as an institution. But, I'd like to probably use a few things that Professor Menon said, because I want to draw a little bit from the book, which is why we are here. He used to always say that law school was a vision, it was an experiment to do two things. And if you look at section 4 of our Act, the first one is to, again to use Professor Menon's words, not the ones in the Act, to provide, what he used to say was professionally useful and socially relevant legal education. And I think before that, law schools were not possibly doing that. Law was not preferred area that people would opt for as a career choice. So law school started with that, and the first few years I'm sure were really hard for teachers to ensure that classes happen on time, that syllabi were drafted on a trimesterly basis, that they managed to get the best materials for us, they managed to get funds to create a library for us with all the latest books. They badgered every lawyer and every person possible to donate us books. So we were protected in a little cocoon, and we were given the best education of that time. So the first part of it is something which was, I think, unusual for that time. It was also unusual to have an institution dedicated to law, a law university, so to speak. And that is the model that you are saying has been replicated in many places. But this model of an education with shorter modules, intensive courses, fast-changing syllabi, dedicated full-time teachers, good materials, etc., is something that has been replicated even by universities which are not just law universities, by setting up law schools. So in that sense, it has been very successful. But the other part of the Act, which I think as former students we always ignore, is the fact that the law school was also meant to make legal processes efficient instruments of social development, or what we used to keep calling social engineering. And I think when we look at the research centers in law school and the research work that they do, the publications that we have, those are also things that are being imitated, sometimes in better ways by modern institutions. And I think that's where we also jump. So it is not just teaching of law and delivering of lectures, but also having a place where legal research would be taken seriously at a university level.
But do you think the original objectives were too ideal? The performance of law school didn't actually achieve those objectives. We became more commercial, and that became really lucrative for it to be replicated. If it had not become commercial, would it have been replicated?
Yeah, that's what I said. If you're looking at the objectives, one, it has to do with law students. Two, it has to do with research centers and initiatives. And the Act also talks about research corridors, so very specifically. So if you're looking even at the law student, the second part, I mean, I'd say that we've achieved our objectives in terms of legal research, at least in India. The first objective when it comes to, first point, that is law students, I think a lot of effort just goes into looking at a BA LLB honors program. And I think that's where the criticism comes. From all quarters, they look at your students, they get a good education and they go join here and there. But that's also not true. And if you look at the preface of this book, you will find a number of names of alumni who are doing things which are to do with the objectives of the law school. We also need to acknowledge that legal education in law school is not just the LLB honors program. We have an LLM human rights program specifically, right from early days where the graduates go either into NGOs or into human rights teaching and they do fantastic work. We have diversified into other programs, our MPP program for instance. We have the distance education course with a number of programs on medical law, ethics, human rights, child rights, what have you. So if you're looking from the narrow aspect of a PLLB honors program, you may be partially right, but I don't think that's true of all programs at all, and not even of the PLLB programs in entirety.
Thank you. Special pride. Professor Shankar, it's now 30 years old, as I said. Why are people still copying you? Is it just that we're lazy, we can't find something better? Why are we still copying this thing? We are the 23rd LLU being set up. How many more do we need? And how long can this copy work? At some point in time, we have to discard the model and come up with something new, right? I mean, time for a Maruti at least, if not better. We're still following the ambassador.
So before I begin, since I'm here, and I think I'm perhaps the only non-NLSIU teacher, student, researcher, so permit me to say a couple of things. One, when I read this book, I was, I have been a student of Professor Menon at Delhi University, which also has produced huge number of stalwarts. We're very proud to say at this point in time, a large number of the Supreme Court judges are our alumni. Justice Sandeep Krishnan Kaur and Justice Rohinton Nariman, etc. So, it's not the law school. That's my point of departure from the titles. Ideas of a law school, ideas from the law school, I have my doubts. I reserve judgment on that. Okay, this is not to be political, but just to say that the world existed before NLS and continues to exist after. And it comes from that tradition, and I think I would like to place it fair and square here. And I also, I'm saying this in all seriousness, not to diminish in any way what NLS has done, but also to say that Professor Menon existed before NLS, and I was his student. And my first job, in fact, was with Professor Menon. I was his research assistant for a book he had been asked to write on Handbook on Women in the Law, and I wrote for it. And the other is that I noticed that you've paid, so permit me, Mr. Neelakantan, to pay this tribute also to Shamnath Bashir. As Dean Legal Affairs, I was leading the case against OUP in the Rameshwari photocopy case, and I worked very, very closely for hours and days on end with Shamnath. And so it was actually very moving for me to read that last piece, because it was as if I was hearing Shamnath speak, and the energy that he brought to bear. I don't know how many hours we briefed Mr. Gopal Subramaniam before the appearance with Justice Rajiv Sahai in law, and the judgment that came, and the rest is history, and that sort of captured. And I think I completely agree when you say that Shamnath Bashir captured all the best and the brightest of that which this law school has produced. Now, having said that, I must pay tribute to the idea of Professor Menon and then all of you who have worked on this to produce what you must now rightly call the law school. So I shan't parallel on that at all, but I just wanted to place that context. Has it been replicated? I think when Professor Menon, we were his students, he used to teach criminology, and he used to express his dissatisfaction. I'm not talking about the early to mid 80s when I was a student. And that was the point that he was leaving to set up this law school, and there were others there also. There was Professor Bakshi, there was Professor Ponuswamy. It was an embarrassment of riches, the kind of classes we had. So many teachers that we could listen to. But we knew that he was leaving because he was dissatisfied. And I think the fact that he built this law school to capture what he felt was the passion that he had was one of the things that I think sets this law school apart, and which is built with very humble beginnings. I doubt that anybody today with such a, just a fistful of money literally could have that idea, and he set it up. Now your question to me was, why has it been replicated, and is it being replicated mindlessly, and perhaps is it scalable at all, the idea? And I think that's the question really that confronts us, that if it is small and it requires a hands-on with a very passionate leader trying to imbue those spirits or views with the faculty members and with the students, is such an experiment scalable or not? And that, I think, is a question that confronts us daily. Scalable across space and scalable temporally across time. And is there a diminishing of that passion over time? And I think that that is a thing that is a fact of history, that the foundational view never continues beyond a time, but new views come in place. And I want to say that it does, because when it's scaled across different states, I think what has attracted other state governments is the fact that they want to have an iconic law school, also one in their state, which attracts the best and the brightest, those with social capital, whom they know will have the ability to transform. And make no mistake, the students who came to NLS then and who come to NLS now do bring to bear not just their intellectual capital or their ability over English, they bring to bear their entire social capital, and that's how they go on to becoming opinion leaders, etc. So that one can never deny, and there is a place for that elitism and the social capital, and I think every state wanted to also have a share of that pie. However, I think that they have done things differently. I'd like to take the example even of my own university, which was my own university till very recently, the TNNLU, but other universities also. This was a national law school, but from day one, there are many other national law universities that have decided that they are state universities, that they owe back to the state something for the land and the initial grants that the states have come in, and with no debate at all, but with complete concurrence. We come from states where the NLUs have 50% domicile reservation, and which means with no resistance, which unfortunately in my view has met with resistance in this law school, right? And including even with perhaps, I don't know, Professor Menon's views on that. It's now too late for me to even question that. But I think these are state universities, and therefore they must speak to the interests of those states, both horizontally and vertically. And so you have a grid that makes for a diverse law school. So I think if there is a takeaway from Bangalore, the takeaway is a very focused, a very passionate legal curriculum that tries to address harmoniously. And it's a difficult balancing act that I think Professor Menon did. You are creating new lawyers for the emerging private, liberalized, globalized India. And you are at the same time trying to do globalization with a human face. And at the other end of the pole, you were also talking social engineering. Please note that this has been a parallel track that this law school has done, and it has met with successes and failures. And that is really something that this law school set. And I think that the different law schools, the ambassadors, partly indigenized in some, And I'm using your analogy of the car, and partly not so successfully indigenized perhaps in others. And I think that is a takeaway. And if time permits, maybe in another round, I could add more. These are my initial comments. Thank you.
Aditya, you've seen Hollywood. I think they're all still trying to fake the same model. So everybody has this picture of what kind of a picture they want to present to potential employers, to peers, to senior members of the bar, law firm partners. They're all trying to portray this ideal picture, perfect man. Most people they are trying to project a perfect man. That's my complaint about many of the women. And that's been drilled into them. They want to have these elements tick all the boxes, make it happen. So is there any discernible difference between top 30 graduates from the top 10 law schools? Can you make out one from the other? If they're all so different, if they all have different values and different structures and different objectives, you should be able to tell the difference, right? Do you see it?
Look, I've spent a good part of my practicing life distancing myself from National Law School, actually, to be honest. When I started my career, I don't think I was at an advantage being from National Law School. And the credit, in inverted commas, for that would go to some of my seniors who had painted this picture in court that we were cocky and over smart and sorted bunch of people, which you never are in court. 20 years or even 50 years into the practice, I don't think counsel or any professional for that matter can be complacent about where they are. And unfortunately, that was the sort of impression we had already created. And yes, are the law school litigators a certain type? Well, yes and no. I think many counsel, especially independent counsel, those who have not attached themselves to firms and have set up practices from scratch, I single out those who are first generation within that category, have pretty much done it on their own. There's no chip on the shoulder. They've of course carried the strengths of the law school that have already been referred to: a strong work ethic, a strong sort of discipline, good research skills. That certainly stands you in good stead. But otherwise, yeah, you're right that there is a certain type. I don't know if that's an NLU or NLS type, but yeah, there is obviously a certain type of counsel who pretends that there are shortcuts in the profession, which actually there aren't. If there were, we would have taken them. I don't see any point in us having scrubbed ourselves the way we did over the years. And that certainly is a concern. And that's where I think if there is a messaging through this book to the future idea of the law school for those who want to get into practice, then I think we need to take a long, hard look at ourselves. We need to ask whether we suitably prepare our students for the realities of practice. Are we mentally tough enough? And do we convey to them that regardless of these head starts, these relative head starts that you may have, ultimately court is a great equalizer in a sense. And at least for me, as I said, distancing myself from law school, why? Because I actually found it gave me the wrong kind of positioning. I found folks from the University Law College who were my contemporaries and colleagues who had a tremendous head start in the profession. And that was not just because some of them were from lawyers and judges' families, but it was also because their engagement with court and their preparation for litigation was far deeper than what we got here. So, yeah.
I think I was looking at slightly differently. I was asking you if the top 6 NLUs, can you distinguish who from Nalsar, NLS, Bhopal, Jodhpur, Nuaz? Are they all looking the same? Or can you really make out a difference? Because that will then tell me if the product is different, then perhaps the institution is different. But if they all look the same, then perhaps they're still copying the old model.
Look, they look the same in the sense there are sort of a subspecies. You can say there's a certain NLU sort of counsel and there are the others. In that sense, yes. But beyond that, in terms of say performance or ethics, you really can't say. And since I say ethics, I think that is also going to define us. If you want to be the law school, then your ethical leadership going forward, I think, has to be far greater than it's been thus far. I'm sorry I have not picked up the book yet, but I hope some of your essays talk about that. And also, when you're saying 6 NLU products, etc., at least the bar and the bench are really looking for humility. They're looking for people who are prepared, willing to learn, and stick with the system. That's not to say that you have to be sticks in the mud, but equally people who are there to stay with the system and not necessarily always try to game it. And also the NLUs are not sending their best to the bar. Let's be clear on that. I don't think the National Law School, or for that matter the other NLUs, are sending their best crop to the bar. Certainly the NLS over time has done extremely well in the profession, there's no doubt. But I still don't think Dr. Menon's objective was met. He had a rather different expectation, I think, from the student community. He would have perhaps been happier if there were more of us in the profession. So, yeah, yours is a difficult question to answer, only because frankly we're talking here about such a small number. I'm being quite honest with you. I mean, this is what I see. We're talking about such a small number in the Karnataka bar or in any bar that I don't think this question even arises. The question is, how well are you integrating and taking your practice and taking the system forward? If you're doing that, I'm happy with it. Are you scoring brownie points on another institution? I think God's too real for those battles. It's not a public school cricket match or something that something I enjoyed when Sudhir and I were facing off. But this is, I don't think those considerations even come to bear, if you ask me.
So I take your point, and perhaps I'm trying to delve into whether the structures, the pedagogy, something distinguishes one of the NLUs from the others. Have they found a place for themselves? So flogging this concept of the old ambassador. Nigam, you've seen if this part of the world, you've seen it overseas, not overseas. Now you got a chance to build a law school from scratch. So, how are the private law schools any different? What can they do differently? What do they plan to do differently? Do they have different objectives? What's the idea? Or are we going to have more of multiplication? Now you have 23 NLUs plus 10 of SIMBI and 10 of Amity and 20 of whatever else. Like McDonald's franchisees coming up in every country. Are we going to do something different? Where do the private education institutions, especially in law, how are they going to be different? What are their objectives? What are they producing differently for us?
Yeah. Thank you, Murli and Sumit, and thank you for this great book. I actually had a good look at it before I came here. I was curious to see what this book is about, and I echo Sarsu's comment on the preface introduction. That's brilliant because it gives you really a bird's eye view of the diverse areas of expertise that law school students have developed. So it's worth congratulating you on mentioning that, because that's a common myth that NLS only produce corporates. So whether I want to start, when I actually differ from you in terms of beginning this conversation about private law schools. You started the conversation by saying how are private law schools different, and I think that's a very misleading starting point. Let's begin by another foundation question. What kind of law students should a good law school be? Let's start with that, and let's see if the national law schools and private law schools are producing those kind of students. If they are, then it doesn't matter if private law schools are different. It really should matter. That question then becomes superfluous. So I also believe it's not rocket science. Just taking off from what Sonia was saying. What are we looking at from a law school student's point of view? A law school student who graduates from the National Law School or from any other good law school should be able to adapt his or her learning to new circumstances. He mentioned court practice, which he said they're not particularly adaptable to after they graduate from law school. I agree with you. But it's not just court practice. I think many of the law students, after going through 5 years of law school, are not particularly adapted to even the corporate environment, law firms, or even think tanks. Many of them don't know how to write well, how to communicate the ideas. So this adaptability, this making interconnections between what they have studied and what any novelty they find, which is what they're going to find when they go to the real world, is an important attribute or a skill of a law student. The law student then also has to be able to, in addition to being adaptable, should be able to communicate very well. It's really important that oral and communication, oral and written skills of the law student are top-notch. It doesn't matter if it's a private law school or a national law school. Yeah, if my law student is not able to communicate himself to the outside world, it's a problem. So adaptability, good communication skills. And finally, they have to be effective. They have to, in addition to being able to communicate, in addition to being adaptive, they should be able to ensure that whatever work is given to them is actually done. I find that a lot of LLS students, actually in my experience, sometimes don't have that last skill, that last mile issue, that so it's good to have very good ideas. It's good to be very good in communicating it, but actually getting the work done, that effectiveness. In fact, I think I'm criticizing LLS students, but actually one of the early things that LLS excelled in, which for us now looks trivial, is or commonplace, is this idea that exams have to be conducted on time, project submissions have to be done. There's no leeway in the way you are assessed, in the way you submit your projects, in the way you're doing your course. I mean, these are small things, nobody else is doing it. And these are all going to the mix of being effective. So as a private law school, we are trying to do the same thing. We're trying to say, to the extent possible, we make our students adaptable, good at communication, and effective. And if you're able to do that, if you're able to inculcate those kind of skills, our job is done. So if not, there's no real overarching difference, I think, between private law schools and national law schools. There may be some micro differences. So a lot of private law schools, if they come from the engineering background, then their students will have an IP education, and they may be more focused on that. Or if some law school is focused on some other area, environmental law, their students. So, but those are micro differences. The overarching objectives are really the same.
Do they have different structures, a different pedagogy?
Well, I don't know about different. We're trying to find an appropriate pedagogy that will deliver the kind of skills that we're talking about. So we're trying to, and I was going to talk about that, but I don't know if I should do that in the first round, right? Next round, that's right. So yeah, there will be, but I don't know if we're saying that differentiators. I think that anybody who's interested in developing the skills of the students should be focused on.